Hello, love, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be sharing some of the biggest things that have helped me manifest and attract my soul fam. And this is a handful of practices that I have used countless times. So, the magic and also the science and kind of spiritual law behind it has worked, whether it was attracting an amazing community exactly when I wanted it and needed it. Perfect people for me at that time, living in Los Angeles a few years back. Also, right now here in Mexico, as well as just along the journey with countless travels. So, if you're someone who has struggled with calling in healthy, loving friendships or relationships, and you're stuck with people that feel outdated or you know that you desire more, it's not fully filling your cup, this video is going to help you. So stick around. I'm going to be breaking down different parts as I go. Before I dive into that, this is also something I teach very deeply inside one of my quantum healing hypnosis bundles, where it is focusing on your relationship dynamics in general. So, obviously, our external relationships, our friendships, and the people that we are surrounded by are a direct reflection of our worthiness, what we believe we deserve, as well as what we think is normal or available, and also the standards we're kind of operating in. So, when you do the work to reprogram your subconscious to see that more is possible and see that you're worthy of better, and you release, inner child wounds or beliefs and things that maybe were programmed in from your parents, or challenging experiences with friendships in childhood, anything that has created an energetic imprint or trauma that has been held in your body, or the subconscious beliefs around things moving forward. When you clear that and release that, you can program in and align with the beautiful, loving, healthy relationships that you desire and deserve. So, this is something I teach inside Connect, and there are incredibly powerful hypnosis activations for you to plug in, lean back, relax, listen, and reprogram yourself for what it is you truly desire. So if you want to know more about that, if you want to get started, the link to join Connect is down below. But with that said, let's get into the exact process that I have used countless times. So let's fast forward. No, let's rewind to 2020. I had just been living with my best friend in Australia, building my business. Then I went to Bali, and it was just pre-lockdown and everything that shook up the world. And I had just moved back to my mom's basement. I was struggling with a lot of different things, and this is when I actually came across quantum healing and the inner reprogramming work on this deeper level. So, over the course of the few months, I really started using the tools I'm about to share with you and realigning with what it was I desired to call in and what those kind of friendships would look like. So, in the past, I had some amazing friendships, and I'm so grateful for the friends I had growing up and everything, but I was never fully being myself, and I never felt safe to be like all of me or to show up in the world as who I was. And so I was always in this kind of people pleaser filtering mode, as well as unaware of it, but holding a lot of limiting beliefs and insecurities and traumas. So, as I began healing and shifting these things, it allowed me to elevate who it was that I called in and who I felt actually worthy of being connected with and surrounded by. And that's what we're going to get into right now. So, one of the very first things, and I talk about it all the time, was really clearing out the limiting beliefs or the junk and the noise around what I thought I deserved, as well as my past experiences. So let's give a really simple example, is that, say you have relationships and the same cycle always repeats. So for me, it was a lot of friendships where I felt like I either kind of like collapsed and hid who I was, or where I felt like my voice didn't matter and I felt like it wasn't safe, or I wasn't able to like fully express myself in these relationships. And it didn't matter where I was in the world. It didn't matter if it was at careers and like new jobs, or if I was traveling around and meeting people as I went. The constriction in my voice, which is like acting up right now, which is funny, but that feeling came with me wherever I was. And so I had created an identity of the quiet, silent wallflower who doesn't really matter, isn't really seen or heard or respected, isn't really needed. It was also tied to a lot of childhood trauma of feeling like a burden, and like my mere existence was a problem for people. And so I created an identity that was just very timid and held back in so many ways. So, what happens when this is what our subconscious attaches to or is focused on, right? The more we believe that to be who we are, the more we create that reality. So, as I said, it didn't matter where I went, that's who I was showing up as. And therefore, I was attracting and receiving people who mirrored it back to me. And I would be so frustrated and so disheartened because it'd be like, why? It's another person who doesn't see me. Like, why is this happening? And I would want so badly to just feel loved and like accepted, and like my opinion and my insights mattered. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter where I was. I never really felt like I got that until I cleared that stuff out and did that deeper releasing and reprogramming work, which can come through so many different methods, such as the quantum healing hypnosis, breath work, a lot of somatic work. But ultimately, you're wanting to get into the subconscious, because that's what has been this sponge that has just been absorbing all the experiences that match that perceived identity, and collecting more and more proof of like, this is who you are, this is what you get, this is how people treat you, this is the only kind of relationships that are available, right? So you want to uncover and clear that, so that then you can make space to believe in something new. Which leads me into the next step that I have used to actually attract people that I truly desire. And that comes down to getting clear on the feelings, the emotions that I want to feel when I'm in their presence. So let's think about when I manifested this incredible move to Los Angeles and living in a community home with like 13 or 14 or I don't even know, 15. There was a lot of us in this one house. And it was like people with really similar values in a lot of ways, and truly the perfect like season and chapter for me at that time. So to the beginning of this story, when I was feeling stuck and down back at my mom's house, I started tuning into what would I love to feel and who would I love to be surrounded by. So even though this is my current 3D reality, and my current reality shows that I'm alone and I don't really feel like I have the community or the people here that support and love and get me, instead of focusing on that and continuing to cling and identify and just be like, I guess this is what it is, I started to focus on the desire. And this is a key thing that so many people get stuck doing, because the 3D feels so strong and it's all you're seeing each day. So the easiest thing is to just keep focusing on it and putting your attention and energy into that, even though it's not what you want. So I took my focus, attention, and energy away from the lack or the struggle, And I began every day putting it towards what I wanted, which was like, I love that I'm surrounded by people who totally understand me, that I can speak my truth and be seen and heard and received, that it's safe for me to show up more and more as my true self, that, we get to do these things together and we're having these experiences, and like feeling in my body the joy and excitement and the love that was starting to come in thanks to these people. And this is a key component with attracting better relationships, is that your mind thinks the people are the source of that emotion, the source of that feeling. But the truth is, you can access that emotion and feeling right now. And actually, the only thing you can ever control is yourself. You can't control if they show up tomorrow. You can't control if they show up in a year from now. You can't control if every single person treats you the way that you want. What you can control is how you're thinking and feeling and acting. So I began normalizing through the visualization, through the meditation, and connecting to like the image of like dancing on the beach and being surrounded by these people, and the laughter, the movie nights, like the deep chats, and being able to open and be vulnerable and really connect with people on these levels with things I'm passionate about. The more I connected into that and felt that and got excited about it, I was now operating in that frequency, right? I had completely lifted and elevated my frequency to be a match for the desire, instead of my frequency being a match for what I currently had and what I didn't want anymore. So I really want you to understand that you have the power to shift in an instant, right? You can use hypnosis and healing work to do it, but you can also simply say, boom, right now, I'm going to connect to the frequency of the desire. I'm going to focus on feeling the future, even though it's not here yet. And this is actually the best way to collapse time and bring it in, because as I said, you're now a match for what you want. So it's a universal law. That law of attraction will bring you what you are vibrating at. So if you shift and start vibrating at something higher, it has to materialize. It has to come into your vortex. That's also just like quantum particle theory of the corresponding particle matching based on your own shift, right? One particle having a stimulus and the other one being instantaneously responding as if it had the stimulus. So if you're the particle, let's just say, and your stimulus is that you're suddenly feeling the love, the joy, the excitement, all the things of having that community, well, the particle, the alternate particle that is that community or that specific person, is instantaneously activated as well. So you doing the work on you is what's creating the alignment to bring it in. So every single day, I had recorded affirmations with different things from a really high frequency state, feeling into the wish fulfilled, as I've just mentioned, connecting to the vision of like the things we'd be doing, the way I'd be feeling. And every day when I was walking my dog or I was just like doing my morning routine, I would bring back that energy so that I could continue to normalize the reality before it came. Okay? And that was so key, because then it just materialized, which leads me into the last and final thing I'll mention on this video is releasing the attachment from the how and not clinging to any of it. There were specific, it happened in LA with the house, and one of my roommates was someone who, at that time even, I remember coming across their Instagram and I was like, this guy is so cool. Like, I want to be his friend. I feel like we'd have so much in common. And I felt that energy and that excitement, but not from a place of lack or desperation, more just like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if somehow, someday, we ended up being friends? And insanely, he ended up being one of my roommates, and I was like, wait a minute. I like totally forgot that I had even had that thought months prior because I didn't have any attachment to it. I wasn't like clinging or desperate for it to happen. I just was like, oh, that would be amazing. And then I let it go. So the letting go creates space for the alignment to happen. I actually just had this happen recently as well with an amazing mentor and friend of mine who I've been connected with, and like we've worked together in different projects for like maybe 4 years now, and just have so much in common. And she's someone I really, really respect. And like a week ago, I was thinking, like, man, I'm like so excited for the day when we're more involved in each other's lives and the friendship grows more because again there's just so much in common. And but I didn't cling to it. I just kind of had the thought, I had the frequency. I felt like what that alignment would be like and how exciting it would be. And I'm not kidding, like 2 days ago she reached out about this opportunity, and this whole new timeline opened up for us to work together and not only work together, but like continue the friendship in a new level. And I was like, God is so good. Like, God is so good at aligning things, and you are so good at doing that too when you are releasing the attachment and you're just becoming a vibrational match. I had to do a lot of work to get to the point of believing I was worthy of these friendships. And I've had times in my life where I had the manifestation, the person arrived, it was everything I wanted and more, but I didn't feel worthy of that relationship, or the old beliefs and stories and trauma started to come in, and eventually it kind of fell away. Like it wasn't a match anymore because the old stuff got all jumbled up and mixed in and sabotaged it. And that's how we can unconsciously sabotage. But then by going back to my toolbox and my quantum healing and rewiring things and elevating my sense of worth, remembering like who I am and what I desire in these relationships, that person came back around. And then multiple times with similar examples, we keep matching each other and changing the frequency to elevate together. And so, this is why I really want you to realize that you have so much more power than you know. And I think a lot of people look around and they're like, oh, this is just what it is, or this is how it's always going to be, or this is the only kind of relationship or community that's available to me. And that's simply not the case. If you believe that to be true, then yes, it will be true. And that's what you'll continue to stay in. And sometimes I look at parents or aunts and uncles and I'm like, I can see how you've continued to identify with a story from like years and years and years ago. And that's exactly why this is playing out in your relationships. But if you changed it, you could change your relationships. And so I want to empower you not only with the tools that I've shared in this video or that I share in my quantum healing bundles, but just empowering you with the reminder that you have control over certain parts of your own life. And if you continue tolerating what you don't want, then you'll keep attracting it, and then you'll keep settling for it and tolerating it and strengthening the story of struggle or lack or insecurity. But if you do the opposite and you take your power back into your hands and say, I am a conscious co-creator, I do desire and deserve more, I'm ready to like play with life and with God and with the quantum field, and I'm really ready to like experience what it's like to attract what I actually want. and I'm going to shift my beliefs. I'm going to shift my energy. I'm going to repattern into my body how I feel or think about myself, how I move, the situations and rooms I put myself in. I'm going to take that control and make the necessary changes and continue envisioning and like reprogramming myself on the deepest possible level to see that as my truth. You'll have it. You will have it, my love. It will be there. So give all these things a try. I hope this video was helpful. This work has truly changed my life, and it's just always so exciting to see like what manifests and what comes in from doing it and how quickly it can shift when we're open to that. So I highly encourage you to start noticing these things. I think I shared maybe like three key parts that I focused on in this journey. Give each of those attention and love. And if you want more support with this, as I said, my Connect bundle is all about the inner child healing, clearing out mother and father wounds that maybe made us feel unworthy of the love or the relationships, the community that we desire, as well as healing masculine and feminine dynamics so you attract really healthy templates of male and female relationships and so much more inside there. So that is linked down below. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you again soon.